So first thing you're going to be using is thermal imaging. Why would we want thermal imaging inside of a ghost hunt? Heat. Not heat.
Cool.
Cold, right. So we're looking for cold spots. So it's that old adage, and yes, it is true. So this is a real legit thermal imaging camera. This is not a phone app. This is a FLIR camera. This is what firemen would use to actually help save people. So it's a quick attachment to a cell phone, and yes, it is the real deal. So the cool thing is that I have this guy set up for a couple of things. Well, first off, you guys should be able to see me in there, right? Red, orange, and yellow guy. So I'm the warmest thing inside the camera right now. Normally, if you were a bachelorette party, I would be the hottest thing inside the damn camera. Aha, see, it still works. So we're looking for blue and black. We're looking for blue and black to either take shape on its own or to start looking like a person. The cool thing is that there's a blue dot bouncing around the screen, and it's going to help guide your eye when you get your video back of the coldest spot in the frame at that moment. And it does have a temperature next to it, so I'm usually looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops. This got really serious for a lot of you, didn't it? Some of you guys are like staring at it like, holy cow.
Yeah, cool.
But with that said, we will be recording through most of the night, but as great as the hardware is, the software does suck. So I'm actually going to stop the video now that the instruction of yours back up again. James, you have no control over volume, so I can already hear yours. It's good to go. But yeah, let's get those things cranked up. We are in a space where there's quite a few vehicles tonight, so we don't go in between cars and we don't film cars. So that's kind of the mentality here. These cars belong to mainly employees of restaurants nearby. So a lot of people like to come out here and take their breaks. So kind of keep that in mind as well. So I'm going to keep racing behind while everybody else starts to spread out, and I'm going to be bouncing around with all of you, taking notes of everything that's going on. Do you have any questions about your device before I spread you guys out? I'm sorry I didn't do that at the last location, which is normally where I do it. You guys are like very attentive, I'll say that much. So
I cannot hear much. It is very loud.
yeah, I'm seeing that. And what's unfortunate about that is that you can't control the volume. So you're my test market. I got that thing yesterday and only had a group of 2. So I didn't want to bring it out with a group of 2 because these are the 2 staples that I normally work with as far as the pieces of equipment. So I didn't get a chance to use it. So you're my test market tonight. Let me know how it works out.
I wonder if you got headphones that like had volume controller on them actually.
Well, because I buy those in bulk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, those things were like 50 cents a piece
true.
for me.
Yeah.
So I buy them by the hundreds.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Let me know how that goes. If it gets to be too loud, I have other gear, so we'll kind of take it from there. Alright. And I do have another red one like this. It just doesn't record. So again, that one you can control the volume on. That one, unfortunately, you cannot. And the headphones it came up with, like, those are not the headphones it came with. It was actually tolerable when I tested it out yesterday, just to try to see where the bursts were coming through. But those must be a little bit more expensive than the ones it came with. So because if it had, like, I can hear it clear as day over here.
Yeah.
So
it's good.
But let's have some fun. Let's get it all spread out. But Bryson, you're gonna stay behind so I can show you how to use that motion sensor. So go have fun asking questions, and I'll be with you guys in just a moment.
Let's stick together.
Okay, so
I just walk around asking questions.
Yeah, ask questions.
Red dot is the sensitivity for the EMF spikes.
Catch what it's
So
saying.
just timed it all the way up. So any kind of change in EMF is going to be stop the burst. All I'm telling you right now is
Ask questions, babe.
Am I supposed to be, how old are you? Am I supposed to say the name? Eliza?
Yeah.
Is it Eliza? Right?
Yeah. It's Eliza.
Huh?
I said it is Eliza. So ask her.
I'm supposed to like how
Like,
old are you?
ask her about the
Am I
kids.
supposed to say what I hear?
Yeah, like if you hear a word, just remember that word. So ask Eliza how many kids she had. Are you asking questions, babe? Babe. Are you asking questions? Are you asking questions?
I asked. I can't. All I heard was God.
Well, you gotta ask.
I asked, "How old are you?" And then I heard God. And
Okay. You gotta keep asking questions, babe. That's
but
how
it
you
goes
do
so
it.
fast.
I know, but you still gotta ask questions. How old?
I heard 99.
Let me listen. 90. You heard 99.
Yeah. I said how old?
Liza.
Oh, he said ask about the deaths.
Liza, how did? Which Charles are we talking to? Is Charles here? Military working dog. Or, yeah, what was their relationship? How old were your kids? All right, Liza. How did? I don't even know what to ask.
What? Who was the pallbearer?
Huh?
The
All right.
pallbearer.
What are you guys getting out of your spirit box?
Just a bunch of words that I'm trying to catch every other word.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's not easy.
I heard military working dog.
Okay. Again, you heard something.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Because again, that job is not easy.
I heard 99. And God.
You heard God.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to get a lot of religious terms.
Yeah. a lot of
Just because
religious in here.
she was a very religious person. You're going to notice an even higher spike once we get closer to a church. I normally don't tell you that because you guys don't even tell me religious terms until we get, to that, and somebody says, I just heard prayer. I just heard pew. You know what I mean? Like one of those religious type terms.
Okay.
And it normally starts to occur as we get closer to St. Philip's.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But was the Pinckney family religious? Absolutely. So, we're talking mid-1700s. So she was
Okay.
definitely religious. So we'll kind of keep that in mind.
Awesome.
But it's cool that you guys are both listening in. So sometimes, the spouse doesn't want to. It's like, nope, I'm good with the high tech, that kind of mentality. But I will tell you the teenagers are usually the best people that listen to that because they listen to
catch
headphones
on
all the
so
time.
quickly. Yeah.
They can pick up on that stuff. Yeah.
What was funny is I had a woman on the tour last night and she did phenomenal. She picked up on it right away. So starting with the Red Barn, she was already hearing things, telling me phrases. She's like, I'm hearing this.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, we gotta slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
They're not all relevant. Tell me what they are. I'm only gonna write down what's relevant because she
Yeah.
was so good at it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want a whole notebook of all these notes of things that she heard that weren't relevant to the space.
Yeah.
So kind of keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I hear numbers going up. What do you got?
I got like 4.2.
Okay.
Does one of the kids stand start with a J?
Feel the way I feel. Shania Twain.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Like we got this number. It was like spelled. It was like
Liza, what happened to the building? 78. I heard 78.
It's a big papa that was playing.
Yeah, I heard 78. Love and Spirit. I heard Love and Spirit.
No, scooting back like it's
Receive the
Yeah.
Spirit.
Love and Spirit. I've heard that 3 times.
Maybe it's telling you need Jesus.
Huh?
Maybe it's telling you need Jesus.
Liza, are you a spirit?
No, we're going to escalate it at this point. So it's like, besides that 27, it's like a we're going to escalate it above 9 to 8, so anything above that. 27 is actually
Oh, then you gotta stay with me because I'm connected to you.
disappointed about how loud it is.
Alright, let's walk.
I'm saying,
Let's
did
walk.
you love your husband?
Double cross. I heard that. I heard double cross.
Oh,
Alright,
a
pleasure.
pleasure.
Mott, do you give up on listening to that guy?
Yeah, it's too much.
It is. It's a little much. The slower the movements on that, the better. What is it?
Remain.
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 Remain. I heard Love and Spirit.
Love and Spirit.
He wants us to stay.
And I heard 78.
What is it?
The number 78.
And then it went off.
Betrayal. You said betrayal, right? Betrayal.
No,
We
I
had
didn't hear
something-
it.
I thought you said betrayal.
There's really no betrayal here. Like, this
No.
was a true love story.
Yeah.
It really was. Because even after his death, they were only married for 14 years. Like, she remained a widow. Like, this is a true love story from the end.
Yeah.
Brett? No. I'm trying to see if that rhymes with anything. Maybe you misheard it. No. I got nothing.
Movie.
No, not even like Brett. Like Brett. No, no Brett. No Brett. Any other letters coming up on the Ouija? AKG. Steady blue? That's a good sign. I'll take it.
Oh, don't you cry no more.
Yeah, don't you cry no more.
We just heard don't you cry no more.
From the song?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right, that song's gonna be in my head all day.
Liza, if you're talking to us right now, can you manifest yourself in the cold?
Ew. Hey, this just recorded you.
I don't think it records.
No, this does record you.
I don't think it records
Yes,
us.
she said it records us.
Oh.
Gosh, you're so
Wrap it up. Okay, yeah, I'll just look around for more.
Come on.
wonderful. I heard wonderful.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Are you talking to us,
Anything else coming
Liza?
out of yours?
I heard wonderful. And oh, hey.
I'm going to do one more follow-up with James, and then I'll pull us to the back again and get everybody
Okay.
all these answers.
I think my camera will record like 16 minutes.
There's something about a camera.
Keep recording.
Did you hear that?
We should talk. Eliza, does this annoy you when people do this?
Liza, does this bother you that we're out here?
Come on back. Let's get you guys some answers.
All right, let's walk over here.
24. You're here 24.
So
I was taking
we look at a lot of bugs. Like actually, I see quite a few like floating around. But I still analyze all of them. I want to see if they came from outside the camera. Usually that's my first clue. If it came from outside, it's an automatic bug. If it exits the camera, if it showed up in the camera, that's also a bug. But if it kind of appears in the frame and then disappears in the frame, like that's something I have to look at a little bit more closely. So, Jason, go ahead and give your camera a break again. So, before you hit the start button. If you already hit it, tap it off and then turn it off. But those two names that you guys normally give me all the time, Benjamin and John. Now, who the heck were Benjamin and John? There's not a whole lot about them other than the fact that they lived here at the same time, 1801. What do you
I'm
got?
sorry. It
You
says
got
hockey.
hockey.
And it says BUB, which is like a nickname
I used to
for
have
him.
Oh, really?
Like I just got chills all over my whole body.
Creepy. I'm getting away from you. You got some bad juju happening.
Yeah.
No, it's really bad. Yeah.
Well,
that.
he's named after my brother who passed away. He was a kid when he passed away.
So that was good.
So, like, I just literally got chills on my whole entire
It
body.
said hockey.
This said hockey. For real.
size.
Basement.
Were we not just talking about the basement of the Conjuring House?
I was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. So hopefully there's going to be more on your recording. And you're probably just missing out because that thing is blaring to all the rest of us. So, back to Benjamin and John. That's exciting stuff. Like, I'm going to be putting that in the
That's
notes. because you
freaky.
shared it. But that's really cool stuff. Yeah.
That's
I don't
completely irrelevant to anyone except us. That's weird.
Yeah. There's definitely not a hockey team going on down here in the late 1700s.
Very weird. Okay.
When I see people live down here, there was only like 2 to 5 people at a time. So Benjamin and John were 2 out of 5 people that lived here in 1801. Now there were 4 different Johns that lived here in a different 60-year time span. John likes to give us his last name as well, Johnson. His mother was evil, John Johnson. We will get John, Johnson, and Benjamin all in the same evening. Again, within that 6 to 7 week part of the loop, which we're in it right now. Here's why I think this is happening. This is another paranormal instance that you guys may have seen on some of your YouTube TV shows, that kind of thing. But your bricks that you're standing on right now, these have been here since 1739 that we know of. So even the historians don't even know exactly how old these bricks have been sitting here, and they're made out of granite. So this is a natural stone that they're made out of. Granite is not supposed to produce in any type of electromagnetic field at all of the device that Bryson has. So set your one with the antenna on any brick that you want. We're going to see if we're going to get a reading out of it. I mean, literally set it on the ground. There you go. Anything above a 1.1, which is natural from the earth, I'll actually take. I've seen it go all the way up to 15 in this location during that 6 to 7 week loop. We just started testing this. So the whole reason I'm bringing this up is because it's called the stone tape theory. The bricks you're standing on, are we getting any readings?
I had a 4.8.
Maybe because you jostled it.
That's probably because I don't.
I thought I'd seen a 4 as well. But the stone tape theory basically states any natural stone that's been in the same place for a long period of time, say a few hundred years, hang on to the memories of the things that occurred here. So, again, I look for names in here, and we get a lot of weird things. This is a weird spot for us. We don't spend a lot of time here, but the other things that we get on our spirit boxes, the Freemasons had a Masonic lodge here, hence the name Lodge Alley. We will get certain terms wrapped around the Freemasons as well, so a lot of times you guys will hear the term Illuminati as we're kind of entering the alley before I even mention Freemasons, and it's funny because who the hell's talking about the Illuminati on the radio? Like, that's the first question. Second is, why am I only hearing it here? And I verified every one of them 6 times last year, 3 times this year. Again, it's happened as soon as we turn that corner every time that the word Illuminati has actually showed up. The other piece that we're here is like symbols, Mason, Freemason, Founding Fathers. We'll hear all of these things wrapped around the Illuminati type of mentality. But you guys didn't tell me any of those things tonight. So again, I'm usually laser focused during these 2 weeks just to kind of see what's going on while we're here. Are you hearing anything out of your craziness?
No.
Not much. Any other letters popping up out of your device?
That, it made the noise, but it's still the same.
Still the same. Okay.
Big bubba. I got dust.
That's a hockey.
And mason, like masonry, yeah.
You did get Mason?
No, I said dust was like, it's like a masonry dust. He said it's like a hockey term.
It's a hockey term.
Dusty.
So the next place we're going to go to, again, we don't spend a lot of time here, but it is another alley, but I can't take you all the way through it like what we're doing tonight. I've been kicked out of it. You guys have all the noisemakers and blinky lights, and it is considered residential on the one side of it, so I'd stick to the one side. So as we kind of cut through and we get to that alley, make sure you're still recording. You're good. We do capture a lot of orbs in here with that new camera, by the way, that Mott's using. So it's a lot of good stuff that we'll capture with that. So the more steady you are, the better. But that next alley, it's kind of, I'll tell you why I got kicked out of it, and that's where the Thanksgiving story kind of comes into play. So again, we're relatively close, and we're going to be close to that street, because again, we're going to be going a little bit off to the right, closer to the street of where you heard it originally. So that's why I always ask, like, where did you hear that stuff from? So again, your readings on your numbers kind of out of sync until we get into the alley, so you can kind of ignore them until we get there. Those of you with cameras, we're going to, as we exit the alley, go ahead and stop your videos because we're going to be in a small neighborhood when we exit, so we don't record people's houses either. But go ahead and feel free to start them back up again when we get into the next alley. It's directly across the street. Have you heard anything before we move out of here, or have you been focused on me? I know, I talk a lot. You guys got to shut me
Why
up
can't
every
you
once in
hear
a while.
you if you're talking to me? I've got the other one in. I'm trying to like focus on what you like for you. And
So my daughter calls him Bubby, and that's what it says on there. B-U-B-E. She's at home, but she just called me like we were chatting on the thing because she was upset. Because anyway, she's a lemon. She's dramatic. But then it's spelled Bubby. Anyway, kind of funny. That's what she named
So it was
him.
your brother that he was named after?
So his middle name's Cody, my brother that passed away.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
his name was Cody.
would Cody know your 11-year-old?
No. He died before they were born.
Unless, of course, he's watching.
Yeah, no. He's, for sure. Like, I feel like he's always with me. Yeah, for sure. I know. Strange.
I'm excited for you.
That's crazy. I know. That's awesome.
This is me excited, everybody.
I know. I love it. It's awesome. So, this is a little bit of an ankle breaker. I can't believe it's so hockey. That freaked me out. That's just like diabetes. I know. Nick also said diabetes. When we were standing in the alley. No. That would really freak me out.
What are you hearing?
Her custody, Bob, about a mile.
Is that what you heard?
Huh?
Is that what you heard?
Yeah.
What'd you hear?
It's the only thing I can catch. I'm moving so fast.
What was it?
Oh, just custody, Bob, and about a mile, and then everything else was going so fast. That's the only thing I could catch.
Oh, we had the word barrel earlier.
My dad's name's Bob.
Oh, really?
Swear.
I'll write it down. So the word barrel, when I got excited about it at the picnic mansion site, is because Lodge Alley was filled with coopers, which were basically barrel makers. So hence we have the Cooper River as well, because that's where we did a lot of the transportation of goods that went out in barrels. So again, when you have the word barrel, the word Cooper likes to show up down there too. And I want to say that Benjamin, the one I spoke of earlier, was indeed a Cooper, because that list I have, I like how he just freaked her out. So where did you hear Bob at? Was it in here or over there?
It's when we were across, or right before in the parking lot over here.
So I'll count it as over here. I like to keep track of where these terms are showing.
Turn it up a little bit.
This location, just so everybody knows, this is kind of a staple for every ghost tour. I'm really surprised that it's empty right now. But if other tours are going to be passing through here, we'll just kind of part the seas and let them go through, because they're going to be going much further than us. So every ghost tour, if you're going to take another one while you're here in town, is going to bring you down here. But we're going to talk about the story down here a little bit differently because you're ghost hunting. It's not a normal campfire ghost story. I'm going to be going over a little bit more detail than what they would go to because of the devices that you guys are using. So this is Philadelphia Alley. This is known. What do you got? Sorry for the language, but that was an oh shit moment. And we don't normally get anything down here. So 13, that's good. I'll be writing that one down. We had a reading down here last week, right after the hurricane, and they went up pretty high, so I was pretty surprised. We don't normally get anything down here. Just kind of eerie. Good in the eerie way. So maybe Bob's here, Cody. Get all your family down here. Come and hang out with us. Weird. But anyway, this place used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur through the city of Charleston. So we all tell the same story because we can prove that it actually happened. But again, I'm going to give you some different details because I researched a lot differently. Here's how it goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney that's helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. To prove that he's not just after her money, he comes down here to Charleston. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. What do you have going on up there?
It's a G and P.
P. Nothing yet.
Oh, come back.
Yeah, we're not going back, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sorry. Weird.
So, as he's coming into town, the coachman set him up, but somebody was walking by. He's seeing what was about to happen, and his name was Ralph Isaacs. I stop on Ralph because his initials are the same as where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. Even before we had the Ouija board device, because remember that's relatively new to the tour, we were still getting the letters RI on different types of spirit boxes, including yours. We just needed a second clue so we knew who it belonged to. These are the two main characters of this story. But anyway, Ralph tells the doctor, you don't want to stay here, dude. This guy's going to try to kill you. I know him. You could stay with some friends of mine at 59 Church Street. You can stay there, and they'll rent your room, and you'll be good to go. Dr. Ladd took him up on the offer, and him and Ralph became friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he didn't want Amanda's money, and that means she's moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time. He was a happy guy. It's the late 1700s. Yes, that was a thing, fellas. But with that, keep in mind, every haunted location you're ever going to go to has a cliched whistling ghost. There's actually proof of this one. We're going to get to that. We actually had proof just last night on last night's investigations. I'm really excited. But anyway, him and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other. Why? The doctor makes more money. He gets better seats than the doctor. So they talk about these plays on the way home. They went to go see Richard III one night from Shakespeare, and they're arguing over the new actress. Ralph thought that the actress was horrible, and the doctor loved her. So it turns into a really heated argument when Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. They go their separate ways. Ralph has a lot of friends here. He goes to see his friends at the newspaper, and he puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a disgrace to society coming to town. Welcome to almost the weekend, everybody, where bridal parties are just roaming the streets. We're a big wedding town, in case you all didn't know that.
Nashville is.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
So, where was I? Oh, the doctor sees the ad that Ralph put in, and he says, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. Meaning somebody's going to die. So they come down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happened at a duel. But Ralph has his one shot. He puts it in the kneecap of the doctor. Dr. Ladd doesn't die. He drops to the ground. His friends picked him up. They carried him home to 59 Church Street, and he died 10 days later. He refused medical treatment. You have to remember he's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed out this bullet himself. So 1786. So again, this was not a time where they had a whole lot of medicine. So here's the campfire part of this. They say as you walk through here, you can actually hear the whistles from the doctor. Y'all hear how quiet it is? It's like this pretty much on a 24-hour basis. Even on a busy Saturday afternoon, you can't hear East Bay Street from here. It's always this quiet. If you're going to attempt to walk through here later on, turn your voice recorders on your phone and listen in to see if you get faint whistles in the background. Keep in mind, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley. I do it every night. So we're going to end up there, and my garage is over there. So because I got thrown out of here, I mess with all the other tours and throw a whistle down the alley. So here's how I got booted out of here. Here's your Thanksgiving story. You ready? At the end of this alley, I used to take people all the way through, and it was all about listening. But those bricks on the other side are older than these bricks. Why? Because this alley was cut off right here. So it was basically, those bricks down there are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child and fingerprint swipes in those bricks. I'm sure you guys all picked up. I'm all about the history. And everybody's got to see it. We all need to see it because it shows how far we've come. However, that kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. All of my teams wanted to always stop, take a look at the brick and try to get a reading or try to get a message through a spirit box or something. So November 26th of 2020, yes, very specific dates, my entire team of 10 decided to stop and huddle around one brick with the handprint and try to get some readings out of it. I'm trying to hurry them along because it's outside the dining room window of a beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm the new guy in town as far as like doing tours, and I didn't know that we weren't allowed to be that close to residential neighborhoods. So we come out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at, and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I did not have a tour. I worked for Walmart for a good amount of years, and I will never work another Thanksgiving in my life. So I did not have a tour. The next day was November 28th, very specific date, and I got a phone call asking me to go down halfway. Oh, yeah, we get a lot of cats around here.
I thought you like heard cat. I was like, wait, what?
I'll actually explain why there's so many cats around here later on. But we're allowed to go down halfway, so the tourism office asked me to go down halfway or to reroute my group. I didn't think it was fair for my people of 10 to try to investigate such a small space with 20 to 60 other people in it, because we're allowed to go to 20 people. I just won't do it. So I decided I'm going to reroute, and I told my team that night, I don't even believe this story we're about to go through, but we're going to be discussing some pirates. So I was like, I never found evidence over there, but we're going to talk about what I do know and see what happens. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell them we were going to be investigating the female pirate Anne Bonny. So it was a matter of like, okay, maybe something is going to happen here. So somebody already heard the name Anne. We get up there, and I told what little bit I did know about pirates at the time, and somebody else hears the number 300. I have no idea what that means until I do the research the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. So I keep taking you guys all back up there in hopes that we're going to continue to find more evidence, but it is a hit or miss location. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. I've read more books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life, trying to piece together a factual piece of a story based on pirate lore. Worst case scenario, you're going to get a very extraordinary story because it's very elaborate, because it's female pirates. You can only imagine what's going to come out of this story. And then we're going to investigate like what we did at the Pinckney Mansion site, and we're going to spread out. What I will tell you is that it's a very popular corner for other tours. We're going to stay out of their way and let them do their storytelling and move on while we kind of try to investigate the space. And we will spread out quite a big distance. So again, we're going to have some fun at that last stop. Have we heard anything, seen anything before we leave the space?
A few letters.
What do you got? You got R.I. in there?
No, they gave me P-O-P-G. P-O-P-G.
Yeah, got nothing out of that.
I've got a lot of words here. I've had coast, action, voice, counter, comeback, continent, trim, and transit.
A lot of shipping terms in there.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear. And were you focused on me again, Tracy?
I was trying to listen.
I know.
It went dead for, that's the first time that it's gone completely silent the whole time that we've used
Like
it.
were the lights still on?
No, the lights were on,
No,
but
it's still on.
but there was no chatter.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, I figured out the volume.
Oh, I got a hi.
Oh, where is it?
It's back here. With these two buttons.
So that is supposed to just control the amount of noise cancel.
Oh, well, it's turned on the volume a lot.
Okay, that's
Okay,
good.
it's like,
I
then I can actually
Yeah.
put it on here. So.
Okay, that's good. Good,
got
good.
hi. Someone says hi.
High definitely would not have been a term
H-I.
back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
1786. Yeah, I got to look at the time periods too. All right, so I'm super stoked about all the stuff we had going on at Lodge. We had some really good stuff going on at Pinckney. This right here has been kind of weak because you guys were all focused on me. So again, I'm always going to tell you the honest truth. Like, hey, this was a little lighter than normal. This was higher than normal. That kind of mentality. So far we're actually on a good track, but we will get bleed over from this space into our last stop. So you guys are going to be telling me weird things like, oh, I don't know what 59 is, and I'm going to remember, hey, that's where he lived. That's the kind of mentality of the things that I look for when you guys are telling me weird stuff. All right, let's go up to the last stop and talk about some crazy pirates. Let's do this. For those of you filming, if you want to continue, by all means do so. For the rest, let's see that.
What'd you say?
I got 653.90 pounds.
You had a 13, right?
653.90 pounds. She
That's
got.
right.
653.
390 pounds. Shoot. I got shoots.
Shoots?
Huh?
Shoots?
Yeah, I heard shoots.
Dueling.
is fun. This is fun.
Oh, yeah.
Right next to St. Philip's
Oh,
Steeple.
yeah. Got 3 guys go stand there. Let me get your picture. With your devices.
Yeah, it usually doesn't get much better than that. 2 nights from now, it'll be pretty much farther to the left on the full moon night.
It's a clear, perfectly clear sky, too.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Welcome to Charleston.
Yeah.
Aw. He's got the green shining in
I
his
love
face.
it.
Perfect.
Ghostbusters are trying to kill ghosts. We're not trying to kill ghosts here.
Yeah, we're being nice.
Yeah, we're trying to.
Right.
Exactly. Watch them. I'm just kidding. Oh, it's shining on your face, Bryson. Your face was green in the picture.
Tracy. Tracy. Hold this for a minute.
Yeah. Aren't they all?
Yes. Number 2, yes. I know
Oh,
very
okay.
complicated.
Too much? Yeah.
All right, so did you guys all notice there's a bunch of doors over there in that corner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I let them have that one. Reason why is because it's their one show and tell, and it's usually their big finale. So again, I let them have it, but I'm still going to tell you what goes on over there just in a very quick, short manner so we can get to our pirates. But basically, there's 2 different sides to the cemetery. That's St. Philip's Church that you guys were all taking pictures of. It has 2 sides because native Charlestonians get buried on the other side. Everybody else goes on the basically behind me, or on the other side of that ivy wall. So Charles Pinckney, the husband, and Charles Pinckney, Eliza's nephew, are both buried on the native side because they're both born here. John Calhoun, your 7th vice president, is on the other side of this wall because he's not from here. He just lived here a very long time. So, but they're all over there because there's a sign right inside the cemetery. It says, "There's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost."
We took a picture of that. We saw that.
Here's the reason why. So, 1888, a young lady died by the name of Sue Howard Hardy. Now, we just talked about initials with Ralph Isaacs over there. Sue's initials show up here all the time. It's very corny, very cheesy, very campy, but I hate telling you, but I got to do it anyway because it will show up. Shh, Sue Howard Hardy. So, it does come up, especially on your spirit box. We've seen it all the time. Now, Sue dies 6 days after her stillborn child. Very sad story. But 1987, 99 years later, a photographer's taken pictures of all the cemeteries, and it does capture one full apparition in one of his photographs in that graveyard. So he sends it off to Kodak. Kodak doesn't know what to do with this picture. Kodak is where we had to send our pictures, guys, just in case you didn't know what the hell Kodak was. Most teenagers think it's a bear. I say Kodak, yeah, I know, right?
Zodiac Island.
Right, something. But Kodak doesn't know what to do with the photograph either. So for guys like me, this photograph it's gold, but to females, it's cursed. Females that handle it, even in a digital format like a tablet or a phone, so they get the same symptoms we talked about at the beginning. So the headache, the nausea, the dizziness. Pregnant females are said to not have a good pregnancy based on the gist of the stillborn baby in the story. So, the only thing I ask is you don't... It was finished in 1713. We're here because the building is what I call a familiar. So we've dealt with an intelligent ghost, a residual ghost, another intelligent ghost, and now we're dealing with a familiar. It's like using a toy to attract a child ghost. We don't have many buildings this old that are along the route of where tour guides are allowed to go. However, we we still get a lot of evidence here. It's either a big hit or a big miss. This building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. But our story begins right in the middle of its construction. Follow me, there's a lot of twists. Young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She comes here with her father and his mistress, who happens to be Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far? Okay. Silence is compliance. Good. So I use that a lot. Can you tell I was a manager at Walmart for a long time? Managed 400 people in large groups, and nobody wants to speak up. But at any rate, so with that, they're running away from his angry wife. How mad was she that they left Ireland to come here by boat? Just putting that out there. They land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation up there. That's between us and Myrtle Beach, just north of here. Bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means he's sending young Anne down here to sell anything from the plantation to keep things afloat. Anne back home in Ireland was kind of a badass. They say she killed one of her servants with a knife to the belly. So when she was like 7, 8, or 9 years old. Again, pirate lore, kind of hard to pinpoint the exact age. But we're going to fast forward. Building's done in 1713. Pirates are coming through Charleston in 1715. Anne is stoked because she's going to fall in love pretty quickly because she wants her freedom, just like a man. We're on guy number 1. Yes, I'm going to keep tally. There's quite a handful. Guy number 1 turns out to be James Bonney. You've already heard, kind of see where this one's going, right? They're going to get married, but Dad didn't approve, so they ran away to Jamaica. They got married down there. But when she got down there, this guy's not Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy is a privateer. He's a spy for the British. This is a coward in her eyes. This is not who she wants. A few years later, she falls in love again. This is literally the person that they based your Captain Jack Sparrow character off of. His name was John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. Calico Jack has his own ship. Anne wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Does anybody know why? Bad luck.
That's right.
So, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and basically hide your gender, you can be part of the crew, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. She knows it's a man's world and she's going to play by the rules. But let's put 2 and 2 together. She's a female in his quarters, Calico Jack. Can't have she's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby here and come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. She's also dressed like a female, which makes Jack pretty angry. And while she was away giving birth to Jack's baby, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. She's going to go flirting with that pirate crew because that's what Anne does. Guy number 3, in case you guys lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females, dressed like males on the same pirate ship. Her name was Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary become friends, possibly lovers. We're never going to know for sure, but the British find out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to take down the one pirate ship. Anne and Mary are the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks, probably because they don't know how to use the cannon yet. They haven't been pirates for very long. Now, obviously, 2 ladies taking on a whole fleet of ships is not going to work out. So as they're being arrested, she looks at her beau and captain, Calico Jack, and she says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here a lot, just so you guys know. And the word dog showed up here last night. So I forgot to tell you guys about the whistle that showed up last night. But at any rate, the judge, his name is Nick as well. So if my name shows up on your spirit boxes, it's usually relative to the judge, not me specifically. But the judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly, you know, because he's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. By the way, that's the normal size of a ghost tour around town, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so thankful for our little.
I appreciate
Oh,
that,
great.
because
It
you
looks
guys
like
appreciate
another,
me.
Looks like another hockey team.
It might be.
It looks like it's, yeah.
I got PPNQ.
And I've had RE, and then earlier I had MS after Sam, and then a bunch of random words.
I'll take a look at them. But the judge, he wants to see those 2 men. The ladies go and reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. They're still pirates in his eyes. He's still going to hang them. We plead our bellies was the last thing they screamed out.
Execute. As you were talking about hanging them. Weird.
Can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. He delays the hanging until their pregnancies are allegedly over, sends them both back to jail. Dad is still up here in the Charleston, South Carolina area, so he brings Anne back home. She remarries, that's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary Reed. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt ending. As far as Mary Reed goes, she died a year later, 1721, from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most articles and books will tell you that it was fever. I'm going to call bullshit on that one. It was probably scurvious and nasty and gross. So again, we're just trying to make her a hero because that's what we do. Sorry, heroine, not hero. So we are going to spread out. The only two things I left out, you all know what you're doing with your spirit boxes by now, and because we're dealing with pirate lore, ask whatever you want to, but I left out two things for sure. I left out the names of Anne Bonny's parents that I know for certain, and I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship. So those two major things are what you can start off with if you'd like. For those of you with cameras, you can go over and check out the sign. You said you guys already took pictures of it. You can go over there as long as you don't interrupt the other tours. You can also go to the front of the Powder Magazine to get us some footage up there. That means you exit the lot like where that group's going and make a left, and you'll be able to see the front of the building where the front lawn is, and you'll see the pillory and those kind of things up there if you want to get some footage. But I am going to keep you for one more minute and kind of give you another reason why I gave that heated warning at the beginning of the tour. Last September, not last month, but the year before, I brought my team back here, full group, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. The kid next to me goes white as a ghost. I mean, this kid was dropping like a wet noodle. I had to pick him up by his armpit to be able to stop him from hitting his head on the ground. His boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him, and we got him over to that wall, which is where we're going to end, by the way. And we get him sitting down, some water, feeling better. I then told him the Anne Bonny story I just told you. It's important to know that they don't know the story yet. Once I spread everybody out with the devices, they pull me aside and say, Nick, we have to tell you, we are 2 transgender males, meaning I had 2 females dressed as males, just like Anne and Mary in the story, on my tour. These are the uncanny things that I see on a random basis. Probably 4 or 5 times a year, I get a weird instance like that. It made complete sense as to why one of them nearly passed out the minute we entered this space. Like, I'm telling you, the kid was fine all night long, having a blast. We get in here, and he literally drops like a wet noodle. It was the weirdest thing. Like, he almost fainted. Kind of mentality. These are the reasons why I gave those heated warnings. Psychics and mediums normally don't make it past the Pinckney Mansion site. I told you the high EMF spikes that we get out of Bryson's device, those don't occur too often, but again, normally if a psychic or medium's with us, that's when they normally occur. That's when I can normally tell if somebody didn't tell me that they were a psychic. So if I start to see like 60, 70, 80, 90 and getting closer to 100, I know somebody in my group probably has a bigger ability than what they're letting me know. So again, those are just the weird things that do occur. Not to frighten anybody, but you almost made it to the end, like we're at the last stop. So again, have some fun in this space. We're gonna spread out. I'm gonna hang out by that wall and let you guys work. Because again, you guys don't need me to train you anymore. You've seen everything. Your camera loves to act up in here, by the way. So just so you know, if you start seeing white lines across it, I haven't seen them in a few months, but let me know for sure. Definitely get those spirit boxes cranked. What other words do you have before we spread out?
Oh, lots of stuff. I have response, I have sexual, creek, agreed, share, skirt, stream, deem, RE, and then execute, leave, and electric.
Wow. So the sexual, the skirt, those things make sense to me. There was something else in there that I was like, that's pretty cool too. But you have that RE, which is really close to the RI that I was looking for back at Philadelphia Alley. So it's not on the point, so I'm not going to count it, but I may make a note that it's just noteworthy in your notes, just because it is there. Very close. As far as your device, Bryson, the one with the motion sensor, ask Anne Bonny to show you her hair color. That hair color is indeed red. Just so you know what you're looking for. I will tell you the only time I've ever gotten a direct response has been out of this space with a red reading. Red means she has to touch it. What was going on was I was asking the person that was using the device that Tracy has, and why don't you just tell this person, because they were having a hard time listening to it, why don't you just tell us what color your hair was? And we got a red on that device. So we moved out of that small little space and went to another part of the lot, asked it again, same exact answer. So it was like pretty exciting stuff. Like I was pretty stoked about that. But yeah, have some fun. Let's do this. Play with that volume for me, James, so we know actually how that thing works, and then you can show me a few tricks before we depart ways tonight.
Yeah.
So that was part of the reason why I gave it to you.
Figure it out for him.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. So you're my guinea pig.
Where? Just anywhere. Anywhere you want to go.
Walk over here by the
Where is
cemetery.
it? Just over here?
Yeah, yep. Did you ask him what the name of the ship is?
No,
Huh?
in one of my college classes, I did a slideshow about Anne Bonny the pirate.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. I don't remember hardly anything about it.
Oh.
I just know.
Well, ask the thing what the name of the ship is. Ask some questions, babe. Ask pirate.
Pirate and what's the name of the ship?
Yeah.
house here or whatever?
Yeah, right there on that sign.
Oh, this sign?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Where are you guys from?
We're from Virginia Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
How long are y'all here for?
Just the weekend. They got 4 games between now and Sunday, like Sunday afternoon. So.
Did you drive down from Nashville?
Oh,
No.
no. I don't drive more than 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I just don't like it. I'm like, put us on a plane.
Hear anything?
Oh, I just heard diseases.
Disease.
Heard diseases.
Diseases. Tell them. Tell them you heard the diseases.
I didn't hear anything over in there. That's what that's what I hear. It's weird because I could time it. It was the exact same time over there, but down here is nothing.
Small boy came out of that recording. I'm like, all right, I'll write it down just because it's a weird phrase. And then the next phrase I heard was these bricks. Makes sense after the fact. What was literally the next thing? Other cat fights. Small pie, or this boy. I forget what the phrase was. Fine. Jason, how you doing on that thing, man?
Good.
You're like the best cameraman ever.
Yeah.
They get him a job. Can't wait to see how stable that thing is.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe half the videos I get.
Oh, are you shaking?
Oh.
Yeah, mine's not gonna be
Mine's
good.
been dancing, so I'm sure that's gonna be.
My hands aren't very steady.
Maybe it's the dot on the camera. We'll see if the word camera shows up. You got anything on yours?
Still looks like a
He
grandfather.
said he had a white dot in the middle of his camera the whole time and then it went away. Yeah. Or like I tested it by moving it and it would move with the camera.
Oh, yeah. That's usually a big sign, too.
Just like a
How-
light.
what now?
Like, how, I don't understand how they think that that's gonna help.
Well, here's the funny thing.
What is it
is
attached to?
it's going through the roof.
Okay, just a pull or pipe?
It's a turnbuckle.
Oh, okay.
So if you turn the turnbuckle, it'll tighten them.
Right.
It's supposed to straighten.
Did you figure out what the name of the ship was?
Now, here's the funny thing. If you're gonna
What's
go
the name
around
of
town,
the-
you're
Oh, this
gonna
isn't
see
recording, I thought it
earthquake
did.
bolts all over
No.
the place. That building, even behind it, even has them. The weird thing
Virtue.
is that they're on both sides.
What's the name of the ship?
This one. One's probably going right above the other. This is going through both sides of the floor. But you're going to see them in the shape of lion heads
Virtue.
and pineapples. It's just part of our Charleston charm. This right here is so crude because that was basically the test because they wanted to protect this building.
Right.
There's also something in the roof from this construction that if it were to get hit from a pirate ship or revolutionary warship in the water, the sand is supposed to go up with the explosion of the gunpowder and then fall to put up the fire on it. Another idea that doesn't work. But we
I
had
like that idea a little bit better though.
we had another powder magazine down by where Battery Street is now, and that one did get hit because it's much closer to the water. The sand went up with the building burned to the ground.
Right.
This one just never been attacked, even though it's served in 7 different wars.
Wow.
Yeah, this building is amazing. I normally go into big architecture things with it, but with the teenagers, they get bored with it. So, anything else coming out of yours? Nothing. Pretty good. He's making things go off. Tracy, you got anything going on with yours?
I heard virtue.
Virtue?
.com.
.com doesn't work. Although we do have DTO on the Ouija board, so we have
Yeah.
that dot.
Yeah.
Okay.
DTOR.
Yeah, tool, examination, and aggression. All of a sudden, right back like all
All
of
at the same time.
Water in Camp Lejeune.
What was that one?
Just the water. This is water at Camp Lejeune.
We do get a lot of watery, like aquatic terms here with all of the pirates that were passing through. There's a whole legend of pirates that goes on just on this corner.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot that goes on with pirates. I don't go into detail until we start getting other things to kind of match with it.
Yeah.
Blackbeard's men used to stay at a parlor that's right up the street here. It's a house now, but it used to be, a big watering hole, kind of so to speak.
I heard Columbia.
A man's voice or like
Colombian.
It's kind of like a Worcester song, yeah.
And we have gotten disembodied voices, and normally I have another device that does that on its own without that backpack on there. And we have gotten disembodied voices from that because there's no way what we heard out of there came from a radio station.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of hoping to develop another smaller version of it because that device is like this big. So it's pretty large.
What's
It's just
the
the
name
upgrade
of
to
the
that
ship?
front piece that you have.
It's
What's
red.
the name of the pirate ship?
Reset. And show us your hair color again. And show us your hair color. Get close to that metal stick.
I'll get to you guys.
Do you have any RED
Got
on
an
your
F.
screen?
I got a ORF.
Norfolk. ORF is Norfolk.
What is it?
ORF is the for Norfolk Airport. ORF.
That's where we're from. We're from Norfolk, Virginia.
I got it once I understood Norfolk. So I wrote it down, but we didn't have
I
another
think it
direct
might have been
response.
me.
Yeah. So it's in the notes, but we will get things relative to Calhoun from time to time, but that's usually in the month of March because he was born in March, died in March, and he's buried on news. So I don't normally talk about him too much.
my legs hurt.
I walked them half a mile.
I play hours of hockey. I don't
know, I
understand.
All right, guys, come on over to the wall.
It's a treat. It says treat. Now Nick's gonna give us a treat.
What are you doing?
Oh, I thought you were listening.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, get out of my ear.
You were still listening. Are you in weight loss?
You have the little, like,
Got red again. He asked her, and we got red again. Like seriously, he asked her.
Yeah, I asked her.
Do you have any numbers to go along with it?
No. I asked her her hair color and then it went red.
And Lot, were you filming him the entire time?
I was pointed this way, but
Okay.
I might have been pointed
We're going to leave yours running for a few. Anybody that's got a little heavy hand right now and you want to put your device down, go ahead and sit it on the bag. I'll piece it all together after you guys kind of go
Says
back to your
treat.
cars. Treat.
Nick's gonna give us a treat now.
I'll give you the answer.
We stop recording, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
stop the recording.